Welcome to Contractor Cuts, where we cover the good, the bad, and the ugly of growing a successful contracting company.
Welcome back to Contractor Cuts. My name is Clark Turner.
I'm Jared Flo.
Thank you guys for joining us again. Today's episode, 3 ways contractors fail as leaders.
Yep.
This is somewhere that we've realized a lot of times as we're coaching guys, as we're talking through leadership, as we're looking at leadership in our own company, anywhere that you're looking at leadership, it's 3 main things that if you work on these things, people want to follow you. People enjoy working for you. And this isn't just for a company with a bunch of employees. This isn't for just if you're a contractor and you've got 5 project managers, this is for you. No, this is for the one-man shows.
Yeah.
This is about leading your subcontractors, leading your clients on job sites and showing leadership there.
And employees. Yeah.
And then finally also internal employees, right? If I'm hiring a project manager, if I've got an office manager, how am I a good leader there? So Jared, what are the 3 keys? And then we'll break them down.
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing that I would say is like it or not, you have a culture in your company.
Yep.
And it is that's just a fact. That's just a reality. And the way that you operate kind of dictates that culture.
Yep.
And you need to choose, like, okay, I have a culture, so I need to focus on that because I want to be a good leader. I want people to enjoy working here and feel a part of it and feel valued and all that stuff. So the 3 main places is structure, vision, and support.
Okay.
And each one of them are individual of themselves, but they also kind of work together as a whole. Yep. So that's the 3 main places. There's a lot of different things that you can do associated with building and growing and focusing on culture, but those are the 3 main ones that we've kind of identified that have an impact in our company.
If you're working on structure, vision, and support. If you're working on those when you're thinking about your relationships with your subs, with your employees, let's break that down. But if you're working on those 3, that is what is going to make people say, I love working here. I love working for that guy. We pay people a certain amount of money to get them to come.
Right.
The culture, how they're treated, how they enjoy, if they're proud of working here, that is what keeps them staying here when someone else offers them another job.
Even for more money.
Even for more money, that is the decider of, are these employees going to stay? Are these crews going to choose me over the next guy? And so building up. So let's start at the very first one, structure. What does that mean to be working on structure as a leader?
Well, I think one of the really important things to understand about structure is people as a whole, just people, the nature of people, they are drawn to safety and security.
Yep.
That's what they're looking for, especially when they're looking for a job that is going to provide for their family, provide, for long-term provisions for their family. And if you're working in a company that doesn't have any kind of structure of what your job looks like, the expectations, how to operate, what's okay, what's not okay, it feels unsafe. It feels unstable. It could move at any given moment. There could be changes that I don't know about or expectations that are on me that I don't know about. So having clear structure actually provides that level of safety and security that we as a people, and especially employees or subcontractors or clients, are looking for. Yep. There's a trust in that and a safety in it. And specifically, it looks like things like, as an employee, a job description that is clear, not vague, and like you're supposed to just run jobs and whatever, but you're expected to do this amount of things. You're expected to run crews and find your own crews, and have this level of communication with your clients on a weekly basis. And it gives an employee the ability to know without a manager telling them, am I being successful at my job or not?
And also, even simple things like we have a weekly meeting at this time, one-on-one with your boss every single week. That's the meeting to air grievances, to talk through issues on job sites, to say, hey, I'm struggling with this, to get support, to talk through things. So structurally, this is when you're going to have that time. Yep. This is how our processes work. We train them on our processes and procedures because that's our structure.
Right.
And once they understand that, they know, okay, the office manager handles this. If I need a reimbursement, I go this way. I know exactly how to do this job and how to succeed at it.
And it adds clear expectations.
Yep.
I as the employee know what to expect.
Yep.
I don't have to call and piss and moan to my boss every day because I know every Friday
I'm gonna sit down.
I've got an hour undivided attention
Yeah.
that we can talk about that type of stuff. And so there's clear expectations, you know what's coming.
Yep.
And the same applies for your labor force, your subcontractors. What can they expect from us?
Yeah.
When are they going to get paid? What are they going to get paid for? If you have problems, how do you handle that?
Yeah.
If you need to buy materials, what do you do? All of those things are clear structural things that they have clear understanding of, that's spelled out in our subcontractor agreement that we go through when we onboard them, because we realize how important it is for them to know and understand what we expect of them, for them to have long-term work with us, but also what they can expect from us.
So we have our very beginning of when someone's coming on, being coached by us or inside of our system, and what we've said 100 times, and what we start with is,
and we'll keep saying,
write down every process, right? Write down every process. Start by writing your processes. Write your processes down. You're not writing processes because it's fun.
right.
There are 3 different levels, right? Client, subcontractor, and employee. Those are your 3 different levels that you're leading. Our client, we have a client engagement agreement. It's expectations of how this job's going to run.
Yep.
Our subcontractors, we have a subcontractor agreement. This is the structure of how you get paid. This is what we expect when one of our clients approaches you to do work on the side for them. This is what we expect you to wear. This is what we expect, right? All of the expectations and structure, how things happen.
Yeah.
That's a subcontractor agreement. And then employees, we have a handbook. And this is the handbook of exactly what you can expect. This is how we do vacation. This is how we do sick days. This is how we do whatever is happening.
And
also, this is how we do project management. This is how we approach clients. This is how we send emails. All of that is structured to where any hole that they have in their head of, what about this? And there's a hole in the understanding of this. We've got it written down in a structured way to show them.
And as comprehensive as we tried to make that employee handbook, there's going to be places that it fails.
Yeah.
And so our catch-all of that, we've got core values.
Yeah.
That if it's not clearly spelled out,
When in doubt,
when in doubt, go back to the core values. How do we operate? What can be expected?
Yeah, that's our safety net for
Right.
everything. And the way we see contractors mess up the structure side of things when we're talking about leadership for employees and subs is they make a hire and they bring someone on and they fly by the seat of their pants. For a sub, all right, let's walk this house. I'm gonna pay you $2,000 to do to paint the house. Can you get it done? Great, get started. They start going, and then you come back and say, hey, I wanted you to patch that sheetrock over there. Hey, I also wanted you to remove the blinds before you painted the trim. Hey, I also wanted... That is not structured. That is the crew saying, 7 times, 8 times, 9 times I've come back because the target's always moving, right?
Right.
The structure for that is a work order system where it spells out exactly what they're expected and exactly how much they're getting paid, and they feel like you're treating them fair. Right, for our employees, the way that a contractor really misses the ball is in structure is saying, "Hey, I'm going to hire you," and it usually happens on your first, second, and third hire, and because each time you're replacing that person because it doesn't work out. Right, the first hire comes in and you say, "Okay, hey, we'll pay every other week. Just follow me around. I'll show you how we're going to do things." And there's months of, so how do I want to take a vacation. Oh, yeah, we do vacation. Yeah, we'll do why don't you take a week? Is that good for you? And there's no structure. There's no, this company isn't supporting me, isn't trying to, I feel like I'm having to pull everything that I need out of this guy.
It creates a feeling of instability.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think the other aspect of it is when you have created clear structures and systems, following through on those.
Yes.
If I tell a subcontractor I'm going to pay him every Friday, and it gets to Friday and they're like, "Oh yeah, man, I'll get you paid call me on Sunday. I'll see if I can get you some money." I've got instability there. You told me this.
Yeah.
So the next time you tell me something, is that going to happen?
Yeah.
Right. So it's creating those systems, that structure, but
And
it's
then
also following
them.
through with it because a huge piece of culture is underlined by trust.
Yep.
right? And that's you will make it or break it by doing exactly what you said you're going to do, or flying by the seat of your pants, like you said.
Yeah.
And like, no, just trust me, we're going to get it done. I'll get this to you, blah, blah, blah. And it creates that instability and a loss of trust. And when somebody comes to them and says, hey, man, what are you making over there? Oh, I'm making 60. All right, man, how about this? I'll match you 60. Come work over here. Like, all right, cool. There's no stickiness to it. It's like, I don't know how well this is going to go.
Yep. I think one of the biggest parts of what you just said with structure is why a lot of guys, I think, don't like to write it down, because then they got to follow through with it.
We've had guys literally say that to us.
Right. It's like, well, I don't want to promise that. Even with the client engagement agreement, I don't want to promise 2 emails a week. I just sometimes don't get the emails. Okay. So there's no structure there. And there's no way to scale on top of. There's no foundation to grow on top of. So you've got to start by writing it down and forcing yourself to do it, to be inside of that structure.
And in my opinion, a key fundamental of the growth of your company is accountability.
Yep.
And the accountability is writing down what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And you've got to have the accountability throughout for it to actually grow.
Yep. So first step of being a good leader is having a structure that people can follow you in and trust, because just like a client, if you don't set expectations, they're going to make it up themselves. Oh, I thought we got that day off because, Columbus Day, my wife works at a bank and the day's off, so I thought I had the day off too. No, you're working tomorrow. Well, I already got a vacation planned.
Right.
This place stinks. So setting those expectations is key, and the expectations are the structure that you've built.
And creating the feeling of safety and security at this company.
So that's 1. 2, vision. Talk to me about vision that we have for our employees as well as our subcontractors.
Sure. So it's really important, and we've found even in the interview process when we're looking to hire somebody, to know and understand where we're going as a company.
Yep.
And portraying that to our employees of like, here's where we're going.
Yep.
And by nature of doing that, it's allowing them to see, okay, what I'm doing, the labor that I'm doing in this company it has an agenda. It has a place it's going. I play a part in the growth and development direction that this company's going.
Yep.
And I can also see myself maybe being a different piece as I'm here long term.
Yep.
And then you, by nature of telling them, here's where we're going as a company, here are the opportunities to you. If you do these things, if you follow the structure that we put in front of you, then the vision that we can spell out for you is, here's the money step ups that you're going to be able to make. Here's the positional step ups.
Yep.
And understanding like, hey, this guy, he's great at project management or whatever, but he really wants to be a manager of people.
Yep.
He wants to be in the management level or whatever. And so you can spell out to that person, here's where we're going as a company, and here's how I see you fitting into the long-term growth of the company.
I don't care if you're a one-man show looking to hire your first project manager, looking to even bring on a couple crews.
Yeah.
If you don't have a vision for your company for 12 months and 5 years, if you're not looking and saying, hey, this is where we're going, then you are stepping to the back of the line in that person's mind as to who they want to work for.
Yeah.
This is the one tool, one of a few tools or an advantages that a small contracting company has over the big guys, over those large companies that are, we got 200 employees. We're building hospitals, a large-scale commercial construction
I just
operation.
need a project manager, and you're going to be a project manager forever.
Yep. I need you to put in at least 5 years as a project manager, and from there we'll consider you. At 4.5 years, the owner's son comes in and starts working for the company and becomes your boss. Right? And there's no control of that. For us, when we're a small team of 8 people in the company, whatever size you are, 2 people in the company, 10 people, whatever it is, I can sit with you like I'm hiring you, Jared, and saying, okay, Jared, this is where you're starting. And I know the pay is lower than probably what you want. But A, here's a vision of how I'm going to get you to 6 figures.
Right.
B, here's where I need you and see you filling in a hole in our company and going long-term with us. I'm hiring for a retirement spot right now. I want you to be here forever. And this is where you're going to grow. So you're starting here, but we're going to be starting a new home build division. We're going to be starting a maintenance, whatever it is. We're in the future, we see our company going this way, and I'm going to need people to fill in those spots. We're growing pretty fast. Could you see yourself in a growth spot where you're helping us foundationally start that division.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, yes,
Well,
that's
and
what I want.
the interesting thing that happens is that because they have that vision, a lot of times that employee will start operating in a manner that
Yes.
proves, if I get in this position, I'm going to be successful.
Yeah.
Because I'm already looking, that's where I want to be, so I'm starting to go that direction.
I'm dressing for the position I
I'm
want.
dressing for the position that I want, so that when the management level looks down and says, who am I going to hire for this position when it comes available, it's like, you know what, that guy, he's really been, he's got that vision, he's got the thought, he's already been running that direction. He's the natural choice.
Well, and you, like our project managers, hey, this is what I see for you is moving into a head of renovation or one of our team lead roles. I see you moving there. What you're doing today, and this kind of goes into the support and when we meet with the guys, but what you're doing today is enough work to be a good project manager. Can I challenge you to step up to the next level? Can I start working on you on this, and this? There's 3 things that I think that, and if you develop these, you will be a great upper management leader here. Can we work on that stuff? And no one's ever like, no, I'm good where I'm at.
Right.
I don't want to make more money, and I don't want to improve myself. Everyone wants to improve themselves.
Well, I mean, a live example of that, we've got a guy who has had his eyes on the head of department role. And once he really got in that vision and the idea that he could actually get there, he started leaning into the other project managers and supporting them and giving them advice. And the other project managers are now to the place where they go to him and say, hey, what do you do with this? Help me think through this. And so that's a huge piece of the head of department role, is like, you're no longer swinging hammers. Your job is to manage and lead and develop people. And so he's already started developing the people that he may one day be developing even further, because that's his job.
Because he's their boss.
That's right.
Day. And it's a win-win for both sides. If I have a vision for you to come into the company or to be here and to grow, A, I'm going to get more out of you as an employee. And B, you're going to be my very first pick to take that spot because you're working for it. Right? I'm not going to do an outside hire because you're perfectly trained and know exactly how we're doing this. Where if you're just the mindset of, okay, I'm here to punch a clock and be a tool and be a project manager, you're going to do the bare minimum. And so then I'm not going to look for you to get a raise, and you're not going to look for me to be long-term. So it's either a win-win or a lose-lose, depending on how you approach that vision conversation with them.
That's right.
And it goes same with subs too. And not to go too deep into it, but when we bring on subs, it's the conversation of, okay, how much are you doing right now in revenue? Let me help you grow. Let's double the size of your company as a partnership with us. So this is how we operate. This is what we do. This is how subs make a lot of money with us, but you got to hit these expectations. You got to do it this way. You got to fit into our system. And if you can do that, we'll make you a lot of money, and we'll show you how. So part of our sub onboarding that we teach our contractors is how to cast that vision of partnership with their subs to make their businesses go bigger.
Well, and I think you're exactly right on that. And jumping a little bit ahead, the opposite of having vision and your employees and people that work with you having vision is they inevitably feel like tools. That's it. They have no value. They have no direction. They're just show up and they do the same thing over and over and over. And they're like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm putting in all this effort and I'm not moving forward. And when it comes to subcontractors in today's society, subcontractors is really, really hard. It's hard to find good ones. But everybody's trying to get them. And so how do you keep them? How do you keep them around? Vision is a huge piece of this. Is I've got a guy that I work to pay him really good money. But there's a ton of other people that are paying really good money to do work. He stays because I've spent time with him saying, look, if you work for our company and you do these things, not only am I going to pay you well for your work, I see that I can cultivate you into a crew that can manage multiple crews. And eventually there might be an opportunity that we could bring you in as a project manager because of your experience that you did in the field. You'd be a great project manager to come in to have the stability of a standard paycheck, and you're now managing people. And you're spelling out the vision for that guy that when he gets the offer from the other guy that is equal, maybe even a little bit more pay for a different job, he goes, you know what? I'm going to be loyal because I want that vision. that I've spelled out. And that's the leadership piece of it. Is they may not even be able to think that direction for themselves, but I initiate with that and say, that I see that you're good. I see that you have value. You're not just a tool to me. And let me tell you what that means. So, I think you could get to this place with us.
I think that's great. And what you're saying, that sub and that employee have a structure. They have a vision of where they're going and where you want them to go and where this company is going that they can be a part of. And the third thing is support, which support really is, I'm looking at you as a human being, and I'm looking at those first two things, and I'm holding you accountable, and you're holding me accountable to those first two things, but I'm also seeing you as a human, and I'm seeing you as a person, as someone with needs. And so I am going to give you support. So with our employees, what the support piece means is the constant meetings and conversations of, hey, what's not working for you? Where do you feel like you got holes in your understanding of the process?
We know that this job is really stressful.
Yes.
And we want to provide an outlet for you to talk to your boss and say, dude, this guy's really chapping me. He's, I'm struggling. And it doesn't have to be, here's my problem, what's the solution? It's providing the opportunity for a sounding board for relation and connection of like, dude, this is really just killing me right now, right? And allowing that space to be heard and supported and said, you know what? I hear that. When I was in that position, I struggle with that too. But this is some of the ways that I was able to move past that, right? And and by nature of doing that, you're taking the person and the business person and helping make them better. And I think that's a big piece that we challenge specifically our management and our project managers, that anybody that works in our company, the goal is no matter how long they stay here, they've been here a week, they've been here 20 years, our goal is that they are a better person individually, and they are better professional, and they're better at whatever their trade is. If you're on if it's a subcontractor, they're better at their trade. They're more efficient at their trade by nature of working with our company.
Tomorrow you'll be better than you were today, and the next day you'll be better than that. That's how we challenge our leadership around here of your job is for personal and professional development of your employees and the people below you. That's how we build that loyalty, and that's how we build winners inside of our company that turn into the leadership in our company. One of the big things also with support, there's two opposite ends of the spectrum of support that people lean towards, one or the other, and we're trying to find the middle. So one side is in support, like, I'm very rigid. We've got our rules. This is how we do things. I'm sorry. That's all we can do. And so you're not helping and seeing them as a person. It's just very rigid as to, well, that guy's an idiot. He didn't do that. And so he's not getting paid this week. And that's that. And you can be on that side of the support spectrum where there's not a lot of support. There's not a lot of understanding or sympathy or empathy. The other side is I'm getting walked all over, right? I am, okay, well, you need more money. Okay, you need your check now. Okay, I'll drive home. I'll get the checkbook and I'll drive back. Can I do this for you? And it's being abused by employees or by crews, right?
The opposite spectrums, I think, are they need me more than I need them, or I need them more than they need me.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's where it ends up.
And so we coach at finding the middle, right? I'm going to have a structured way that we operate. Let's use a crew as an example. Or even, and I can do for either one, for a crew. We mail checks on Wednesday. You should get them by Friday. That's that. Sometimes USPS really stinks, and oftentimes, more recently, it feels like they've been terrible. But that is how we pay. That is how it always happens. If we have a crew that says, hey, man, this coming week, I got X, Y, and Z happening. My kid's got this surgery, and I need the cash. Is it okay if I come by and pick up a check on Thursday instead of waiting for it to be mailed on Friday? That will go up the flagpole to the bosses here, and the general manager will approve that, and we'll hold the check, and our project manager will deliver it to them on the job site because we want to help them out with that. If you're asking every single week, we're going to say no. We're going to bend some to help you because we see the needs as a person. We understand life happens.
Right.
We're also not going to let you take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's the middle. I'm going to bend, but I'm not going to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
That goes for employees, right? Time off. We have we have no sick days, right?
Right.
You take as much or as little sick days as you want.
No, it's actually you're not allowed to get sick.
You're not allowed to get sick as a project manager, but it's literally unlimited sick days. If you're sick, you're sick. If we're going to be shouldering your load for the next 3 months, let's talk about why that is.
Right.
If you need me to help run to a job site for you this week, I can do that for you. Let me know how I can help, right? And so there is this is our strict structure. And then here's the areas that we're going to bend on when we see you as a person. That's what support is. And I think one of the, to end this on one note, one of the biggest issues I see with leaders in companies, this isn't any company. This isn't just construction.
Oh, yeah.
But when we are coaching guys and we're assessing companies, one of the biggest things in construction specifically too is how leaders react like we're on the same level, right? Let's say you're my employee and I'm the boss here.
Yeah.
And I make you take care of my feelings just as much as you're trying to get me to take care of your feelings.
Right.
And the truth is we aren't equal. Right. I am the leader and you are not in charge of taking care of my feelings. You are hired to do a job. You are hired to come in here and do what we agreed upon in your job description. And so my job as the leader is not to make you deal with my feelings, where I yell at you, where I give you attitude, where I'm screaming and hollering because you're not doing this, which is making me have to do it.
Which may be associated with job stuff or home stuff.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not, as the leader, allowed to yell at you for what you've done. I'm not allowed to be like, you've put me out and I've had to do this. No, that doesn't matter. You hired them to come do their job.
Right.
Only thing that matters in that conversation is what were the expectations put on you? Why weren't they met? Help me understand. Did I do something wrong? Is there some sort of communication that I lacked to where you didn't understand that needed to happen?
Right.
And then finally, if this continues happening, you're not going to have a future vision. You're not going to have a future here because I can't keep you around, and I don't want to do that. Don't make me fire you. I've said that line 100 times. Don't make me fire you.
Because I have a clear structure that's clear to everyone of the expectations.
What am I missing in that communication? What do you need to know from me that I can be doing differently to where you're going to have a future here? And do you want a future here?
Right.
Like the way that you're running your jobs, it seems like you don't. But maybe you don't understand my expectations.
Right.
So let's talk about where we missed each other on the expectations. I don't want to talk about last week outside of using that as an example if you need to understand what I'm talking about. But I'm not mad at you for last week. You did what you thought was either expected of you or you dropped the ball.
Right.
Which one of those is it? And let's talk about how that doesn't happen again moving forward.
Yeah.
Right. Every conversation I have as a leader with my employee is solely about their future and their feelings.
Yeah.
Hey, you're putting if I'm frustrated with you and you're working for me, I am going to come to you and say, hey, I feel like there's some miscommunication because I'm starting to feel frustrated and I don't know where that's coming from.
Right.
Or I'm feeling frustrated because I was expecting X and Y happened.
Right.
Where am I missing? Always point the finger back at yourself. Where am I missing you on that expectation? Or did you just miss it? Help me understand that. That is how you lead. That is the structure, the support, the vision in terms of we've got the structure, which is the expectations. I got the vision of where we both think we're going together. I want you to buy into that. And then now the support is when you're not hitting that vision or you're not following the structure, what's up? What's going on? What's happening? Right? And that is all leadership is. Structure and vision.
That's right.
And then supporting those two things.
Well, and I think the reality is where we started with this.
Yeah.
Your company has culture, whether you acknowledge it or not.
Whether you're a one-man show or a 100-person team.
Yeah. And as the leader of your company, the way that you operate, the way that you treat people, the way that you act is going to dictate the feel of the culture of your company.
Yeah.
And that's going to be felt by your employees, your subcontractors, and your clients.
Yeah.
And so if you don't hear anything else that we said today, as the leader of the company, the way that if you're a hothead and you're screaming and hollering and that's how you manage and that's what you do, the people in your company are going to match that level.
Yep.
And it might not come back to you, but it will roll downhill to your clients and to the labor force and your subcontract. It will roll downhill. But if you, I love the thing that you say is, the way to be the best leader is to have the lowest heartbeat in the room.
Yep.
To be calm, to have the perspective to allow you to be in that space, to hear, to understand, to see somebody, and to be able to give support, direction, and whatever. And sometimes there's frustrations, there's agitation. I've told this guy 7 times the same thing.
Yeah. But your job as a leader is not to get pissed off because he's done it 7 times and now he's starting on his 8th.
Right.
It's to say, hey, structurally, this is how your job position should run. Is there an issue? I don't think you're good at this job, it feels like. Like, do you enjoy this job? Like, why are you like, the goal of any firing is I want to have a hug at the end.
Yeah,
doesn't always happen.
That's right.
But if
I'm gonna call HR.
For a nice soft handshake.
That's right.
That's all I'm looking for. But if I can sit down because I've been a good leader throughout the relationship and pointed out to, this is structurally where you're missing, this is the vision you're not achieving.
Yeah.
And I'm having that conversation over and over. It gets to a point where I'm like, hey, it feels like you're not in this for this job. Like it feels like your personality doesn't fit with what you're trying to do here, and it seems like it's really hard for you to be an employee here. Like what? I think it's time for you to move on and for us to move on because it's not working on either side. And I'd love to support you in that. I'd love to help you move on. You didn't forget to and pay 2 crews out and spend $3,000 of my money because you did it on purpose.
Right.
Now, if you did, that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole different.
No employee does. No employee is trying to hurt you. They're just either not good at their job. They're not good at executing the structure, or they have an attitude issue where they don't care about the vision in the future. Either way, hey, then that means you shouldn't be working here. Like we don't match what we're looking for. So
That's right. That's right.
That's it. Those are the 3 things. I think it's well said, Jared. I think you're right. And the one thing that you've got to walk away from this is be the calmest heartbeat and always reference back to the structure that you've put in place and the vision you've cast. And if they aren't hitting those, maybe you haven't given them a good enough structure. Maybe you haven't cast a good enough vision. Look at yourself before you blame others.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you should go as trying to build a company, trying to be a leader with subs as well as employees.
Yeah. Well, money is how you convince people to come work for you. Culture is how you keep them long term.
And all culture is what they tell people about you behind your back.
That's right.
That company is fun to work for. Hey, you know what? It's a stressful job, but I love those guys.
Yeah.
That's the culture. That's all it is. It's how they feel when they're there.
That's right.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. If you want to talk anymore, go to our website, fill out a contact form, send us an email. Love to have a conversation. If you want some of the stuff that we're talking through, we've got one-on-one coaching sessions, we've got group sessions, we've got retreats, we got a little bit of it all where we can kind of build a package for you as a contractor to where it meets your needs and your financial abilities to where we're not stressing you out financially, but it's hitting everything that you need.
Yeah.
Come talk to us. We'd love to have the conversation with you.
Yep.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.